Look, I got a Kindle Fire and a Nintendo 3DS. What is this, a Kindle 3DS? Yeah, I know that was one of my more lame jokes. Let's start the review, shall we? Enjoy the review. Super Mario Bros. 3, in my opinion, is the best NES game, alongside Kirby's Adventure. It took what made the original Super Mario Bros. So great, and literally expanded and evolved everything. And the original Super Mario Bros. Was a masterpiece of a video game. Super Mario Bros. 3 has everything. Amazing visuals, great levels, amazing boss battles. Super Mario Bros. 3, in my opinion, is the whole package. And that's why I am going to review this video game here today. Super Mario Bros. 3, funny enough, came out in February, and it's February this month, so this game came out exactly 29 years ago to the month. So, without further ado, let's review Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System and get this video game review started, shall we? We're gonna review Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game is truly the best Mario game out of the 3 or 4 games in the NES line of Mario games. Super Mario Bros. 3 has amazing gameplay, and what truly makes this game great is that there are so many levels. This is a pretty long game. There are over 70 levels in this game, and almost every one was fun and entertaining to experience. There are grassland levels, fire levels, snow levels. Super Mario Bros. 3 truly has a lot of variety in almost each and every one of its levels, which is something I respect a lot. There were some great boss battles in this game as well, and the final boss battle was epic against Bowser. Super Mario Bros. 3 is truly a phenomenal game, and I think it's such an amazing Mario game. Man, Super Mario Bros. 3 is truly an epic game. So, let's talk about the development history of Super Mario Bros. 3. And let me say, the development history is actually quite unique, so let's cover it, shall we? Development of Super Mario Bros. 3 began shortly after Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. The game took more than 2 years to complete, with a budget of $800,000. The music was performed by Koji Kondo himself. Before the game actually came out, it was shown in a movie called The Wizard as an advertisement.
Super Mario Brothers 3!
When the game came out, it got massive praise, people saying it's one of the best NES games ever. Super Mario Bros. 3, in my opinion, is a masterpiece of a video game, and almost every reviewer has given it high scores all around. Okay, now it's time to talk about the gameplay of Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 is a 2D side-scrolling platformer video game. The levels in this game are very enjoyable. Mario can run by pressing the B button and jump by pressing the A button, just like prior Mario games. There are Goombas and Koopas, but there are some new enemies introduced like Chain Chomps, Thwomps, and Boos, new to the Mario series in Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3's levels are very enjoyable. They get a lot harder, trust me. The most annoying world for me is World 6, which is the Ice World, World 3, the Water World, and World 8, which is the Bowser World. There are some fun boss battles, but they aren't anything too complex. You jump on them 3 times and they are dead. The Koopalings make their debut in Super Mario Bros. 3 as well. The power-ups help a lot in certain situations. The frog suit is useful in the underwater levels, and the Hammer Brothers suit is my personal favorite suit. I like how you can draw projectiles, which help a lot. Super Mario Bros. 3's gameplay is amazing. The levels offer an interesting and fun challenge, and the spike in difficulty, in my opinion, is very balanced for the most part. Super Mario Bros. 3 has amazing gameplay. So what are my final thoughts about Super Mario Bros. 3? Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of the best video games ever made. Super Mario Bros. 3, in my opinion, is definitely the best game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Super Mario Bros. 3 literally took what made the original Super Mario Bros. So great and just perfected everything. I used to play Super Mario Bros. 3 all the time when I was a teenager, and I remember just having so many fun hours just playing this game. I truly enjoy this game a lot, and I always have fun replaying it over and over again. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate Super Mario Bros. 3. Every time I play this game, I just have a certain level of fun and enjoyment that I don't get from other Mario games, and I truly feel that Super Mario Bros. 3 is the best game on the NES. Super Mario Bros. 3 has amazing gameplay, amazing boss battles, the visuals in this game are amazing as well, and there's really not any complaints that I can think of when it comes to Super Mario Bros. 3. Sure, maybe when you run it's a little slippery and the controls are tight, but that's only a small criticism on what this game truly is. If you guys are younger or haven't played Super Mario Bros. 3, I strongly encourage you to play this video game. You guys are missing out on an excellent Mario game, and the final score that I give Super Mario Bros. 3 is a 10 out of 10. This is truly one of the best Mario games ever made, and one of the best 2D side-scrolling games I've ever played, and Super Mario Bros. 3 is the pinnacle of NES games. Thanks for watching this video game review, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Yes! I'm reviewing Rise Star for the Sega Genesis. This game is such a gem. Whoa, is it snowing right now? Well, winter's almost ending, but that's so weird that there's friggin' snow. I don't know. Enjoy the review. Rise Star for the Sega Genesis is one of the best games on the system. Rise Star was a very fun game, and unfortunately, this was the only game in the Rise Star series. It's a shame that there were no future games planned for Rise Star, because this was truly an epic and fun game on the Sega Genesis. The gameplay was very interesting. the Sonic the Hedgehog games were fast-paced and fun games. Rise Star was more of a slower-paced type of game, but the level design was amazing and the platforming elements were awesome. And what really made Rise Star unique as well is that you press the A button to use your hands to attack enemies, which was an interesting gameplay twist. Anyhow, I truly think that Rise Star is a great game, and I'm very happy to review this video game here today. So, without further ado, let's get this video game review started and review Rise Star for the Sega Genesis and review this gem of a video game. Let's get started, shall we? Rise Star for the Sega Genesis is a very fun game. Released in 1995, this game was a very good game for the Sega Genesis. What's actually quite interesting is when Sega was pitching ideas for Sonic the Hedgehog, Rise Star's design choice was considered. Sega later turned that design into a character called Rise Star and gave him his very own game. Rise Star for the Sega Genesis is very fun. The visuals and level design are amazing, and the gameplay is great. Rise Star for the Sega Genesis is the only game in the Rise Star series, unfortunately, because that's a shame because Rise Star is truly a great game. It isn't as good as games like Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's still a good game to play, and whenever I play this game on Sonic Mega Collection or Sega Genesis Classics, I always play this game from time to time.
Mr. Wii, Superman is jumping off the balcony. Stop him quick.
So as I was saying, Rise Star for the Sega Genesis, what? Superman is jumping off the balcony, Pikachu? I gotta stop him. He's not the real deal, he's just a doll. He's just a doll. I gotta stop him quick.
No, Superman, don't do it. I gotcha, you doll. You're not jumping off the balcony. I gotcha, Superman. Whoa, he's flying! No! Yeah, you still gotta learn how to fly. That's why I didn't want you to jump off the balcony.
Okay, since those shenanigans are over, let's talk about the development of Rise Star, shall we? Got a problem with me? I'll spare you just this one time. Ugh. In late 1994, Sega was pitching for Rise Star to be a successor game to Sonic the Hedgehog. The game didn't sell as well as Sega expected because the game was released 3 months prior to the Sega Saturn. In a 1994 Electric Gaming Monthly interview, Sega's marketing staff, Lisa Best and Terry Tang, said Rise Star was not designed by the same Sonic programming team. The same staff that worked on Rise Star would later work on Nights into Dream on the Sega Saturn. Rise Star was a very good game, but didn't sell as well as Sega expected. Most critics feel that Rise Star is a very good game, and for the most part, I agree.
Take this, you piece of shit. This is for looking at me funny earlier, you stupid Pikachu. Ugh. Ha ha ha. I like torturing you at my own expense because you're just an asshole. Ha ha.
Alright, since I pretty much beat up on Pikachu now, let's talk about the gameplay of Rise.
Let's talk about the gameplay of Rise Star.
Rise Star's gameplay is very enjoyable. The game has 2 levels in each world and a boss battle. The boss battles were pretty enjoyable in this game. The levels are a lot of fun. Rise Star's gameplay involves grabbing things. By grabbing certain enemies and items, it adds a new gameplay style that is unique only to this video game. and I feel that is the reason why Rise Star was different than any other platforming video game. Rise Star's levels aren't easy though. At times this game can get difficult, but by using your arms to attack enemies, it makes the game so much more fun to experience. Rise Star's level design is cool, as well as there's some water worlds and lava worlds and many other unique worlds that makes it such an interesting and accessible video game. Rise Star also has a cool password system, which was a really cool addition in this game. There is one password where you get to select certain levels. That feature really makes the game so much more fun to experience. All in all, is Rise Star a good or great game? I strongly feel that Rise Star is a great video game, but not the best video game I have played on the Sega Genesis. I still enjoy the Sonic the Hedgehog games more, but Rise Star's accessible and fun gameplay really makes it unique, which is something I can respect about this video game.
So, what are my final thoughts about Rise Star for the Sega Genesis? Wow. If you were to pick the top 10 Sega Genesis games, Rise Star is easily on that list. Why is Rise Star such a great game? Like I've stated numerous times in this video game review, Rise Star has such a unique gameplay style that makes it very different to other Sega Genesis and other video games. And it's really sad, it's really frustrating, and it bothers me that we never got any future Rise Star video games. Rise Star for the Sega Saturn, Rise Star for the Sega Dreamcast. Those would have been games that would have been great supplemental series games. Do you guys realize how The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and Donkey Kong are series that help push the envelope for Nintendo? Rise Star could have been that second or third series that could have pushed the envelope for Sega, just like how Nights into Dreams did for them on the Sega Saturn. All in all, what is the final score that I give Rise Star? Well, I think it's fair that I give Rise Star an 8 out of 10. This is a great video game, and if you guys are younger or haven't played older games like Sega Genesis, I strongly encourage you to play Rise Star. It's a great game, and if you guys want to get this game on collection discs, there's always Sonic Mega Collection and the Sega Genesis Classics. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video game review, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and adios. See you guys later. So as I was saying, Rise Star is a great game. What, Pikachu? Superman's gonna jump off the balcony? He's a doll, he's not the real thing. I gotta stop him quick! So as I was saying, Rise Star for the... Whoa, Pikachu! Come on, what the fuck?
Come on, Nintendo. Square Enix is giving us all of these Final Fantasy ports. Why no Sega give us Sonic Adventure ports? That would literally be amazing. Only a man could dream. So, let's start this video game review, shall we?
It's a Mario time!
I'll show you!
Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast. This was the first big 3D Sonic game back in 1999, and man, was this game so impactful back then. This was such a great 3D Sonic game. The levels were truly amazing in this game, the gameplay was epic, and not only that, being able to play as multiple characters definitely diversified the gameplay, which I thought was cool. Anyhow, this is definitely one of the best 3D Sonic games in the series, so I can't wait to review this video game here today. So, without further ado, let's review Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast, shall we? Let's get this video game review started.
Thunder, rain and lightning, danger, water rising, glamour, signs wailing. It's a trick sign. Shadows, dark creatures, steel clouds floating in the air. People run for shelter. What's gonna happen to us?
Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast. When this game came out back in 1999, this left a strong impact and was such a great way to start off the success of the Sega Dreamcast, even though the Sega Dreamcast had a short time on the video game market. Sega struggled making a good 3D Sonic game on the Sega Saturn with loads of overwhelming developing struggles. The project was initially cancelled, but Sega turned it around quick and finally came out with the 3D Sonic game us fans have been wanting back in those days. Nowadays, there are so many 3D Sonic games, but back then, this was a huge deal since we have only been experiencing the 2D Sonic the Hedgehog Sega Genesis games. The question is, has Sonic Adventure aged well nearly 20 years later? Well, I will go more further into detail in this review. Alright, now it's time to talk about the development of Sonic Adventure now. The Sonic team started development of Sonic Adventure back in April 1997 on the Saturn with a team of 20 people. They used the Nights into Dreams engine to make this prototype, but the Saturn's limitations made development very hard. Heio Nakayama said that the Sonic Adventure would be best made for the Sega Dreamcast. In July 1997, they redeveloped Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, and 60 people, yeah, I'm friggin' serious, 60 people worked on this game. Sonic Adventure was completed in a span of 10 months. Sonic Adventure was released on December 23, 1998 in Japan, and then in North America on 9/9/99. Does anybody remember that? I was like 4 back then, jeez. All in all, Sonic Adventure was super successful.
I'm freaking serious. They really should port Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 to the Nintendo Switch. Why Sega and Nintendo? Why? Okay, let's talk about the story of Sonic Adventure now.
Dr. Robotnik finds a way to defeat his longtime enemy Sonic. He learns of a creature called Chaos, a creature that thousands of years ago helped to protect the Master Emeralds. Robotnik releases Chaos from the Master Emerald. Sonic and Tails fights it. Later on, Knuckles is trying to repair the Master Emerald. Later on, Sonic throughout the wave foils Robotnik's plans and manages to fight Chaos once again. Chaos manages to absorb all the Chaos Emeralds, turning into a monstrous Chaos. Sonic transforms into Super Sonic, fights Chaos and defeats it, bringing peace to the world.
Your reviews suck. Find another career, you untalented hack. You suck.
Pikachu, you kidder. You, you no good mother piece of I'm gonna kick your mother ass. If you ever interrupt my mother review ever again, I'm gonna your face. I'm gonna kick your mother ass. I'm gonna beat the out of you, you mother. Don't you mess with me, haha. Oh
I'm
crap!
gonna beat your ass, you little
Pikachu!
bitch.
I'm lightheaded. Pikachu, stop!
I'll end you, you no good
Pikachu,
focus
stop!
face.
He's beating me up. Let's talk about the gameplay of Sonic Adventure now. And I need a paramedic.
Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast is a fast-paced 3D platforming video game. This game has a variety of different players to play as. Of course, most of the gameplay is centered around Sonic. Sonic's levels in this game are very enjoyable. The fast-paced gameplay is very enjoyable, and the platforming elements are at its very best. I like a lot of the levels in this game. Emerald Coast, Red Mountain, Twinkle Park were some very fun levels. Tails stages are pretty good. Knuckles stages are pretty good. E-Gamma stages are good. The only 2 characters I really don't like playing much in Sonic Adventure is Amy, since, well, she moves slow, and Big the Cat, which involves boring fishing gameplay. Why? The boss battles were fun in this game as well. Sonic Adventure's story was very enjoyable to experience. There are 10 fun Sonic stages, and the replayability around those stages is really good. All in all, the gameplay and replay value of Sonic Adventure are great, and the gameplay in this game is truly amazing.
All in all, what are my final thoughts about Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast? This was the very first 3D Sonic game, and honestly, it's probably one of the best in the series. There have been hits and misses with the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations are all great Sonic games, and then there's a few missed games like Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Don't even get me started on that piece of trash. Anyhow, Sonic Adventure was very important when it first came out because this was the 3D Sonic game that was the stepping stone for future 3D Sonic games to come, and honestly, this game is truly amazing. The gameplay is epic, the story is amazing, and all in all, the replay value in this game is truly excellent. I play this game from time to time over and over again.
I give Sonic Adventure a 10 out of 10. I truly feel it's deserving of that score. All the aspects of what truly defines a 3D Sonic game, Sonic Adventure does it perfectly. And I feel this is truly a great Sonic game. Thanks for watching this video game review, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Sweet, another video game review. I'm going to be reviewing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Wow. When I was a kid, I would play the original Super Smash Bros. And Super Smash Bros. Melee. As a teenager, I played Brawl, and as an older teenager, I played Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. And now there's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Just what the heck? Let's get this review started, shall we? Enjoy the review. I'm playing some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on Nintendo Switch. This is the perfect game to play in handheld mode. This game is truly awesome.
Mr. Wii, shouldn't you be reviewing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?
No, Pikachu, I really want to play this handheld version of Smash. It's so frickin' addicting.
But it's your 25th review. You can't let your fans down.
Well, you are right. This is the 25th review special, and I have made it into a milestone of reviewing.
This is a super special occasion. You should make the review and go for it, my friend.
You're right, Pikachu. I gotta do this video game review. Instead of playing Smash Ultimate, I gotta review it. Because reviewing is my specialty. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. This video game doesn't lie. This is truly the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game. There's new characters, there's new stages, there's new music. There's so many stages, so many characters, so many music. But anyhow, is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate the best Super Smash Bros. Game in the series? And is this video game truly the best out of all the Super Smash Bros. Games? Well, we are going to review this video game here today. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out in December of 2018, and it is currently the best-selling Nintendo Switch game right now. So without further ado, it's an honor and a privilege to be reviewing for the 25th review special
Mr. Wii will be reviewing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's get this video game review started, shall we?
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. The ultimate Super Smash Bros. game. Literally. This video game, in terms of content, is truly the most massive. It's literally mind-boggling. But does this game give you everything you want in a Super Smash Bros. game? For the most part, yes. The story mode is very good, but in my opinion, isn't as good as Subspace Emissary. I feel that Super Smash Bros. Brawl story mode had more engaging cutscenes, and there was more freedom to explore around in the Subspace Emissary mode in Brawl, and there are a few modes missing, like Home Run Contest, but hey, these are minor problems that really doesn't affect the game all too much in the slightest. I'm gonna miss Home Run Contest though, ugh. Super Smash Bros. Has always been a game that strived on its multiplayer and free-for-all modes, and let me say, Smash Ultimate definitely delivers. With over 100 stages and 70 new characters, and the music in this game being at literally its all-time highest, battling in Smash and fighting in Smash has been much better than ever. Nintendo's really modified and improved the core gameplay. Each character's movesets have been expanded, and the gameplay feels more smoother than ever before. I'm serious, this literally runs as good as Melee in my opinion. The newcomers, such as Incineroar, King K. Rool, the Inklings, Ridley, and Piranha Plant are some great additions, and we're literally getting downloadable content on the way. They already announced the Joker DLC, which I think is cool. The classic mode in this game is very good. Smash Wii U was annoying because it felt like a board game type of mode, but Smash Ultimate goes back to more of a traditional classic mode, which I think is great, and I am slightly disappointed that trophies didn't return in this game. I remember when I first saw the trophies in Super Smash Bros. Melee, it intrigued me so much as a kid, but Nintendo compensated and gave us spirits, which are magical items. I will discuss them more later on. All in all, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, in terms of content, offers you everything you're looking for. Stages, characters, music, it's astounding. I enjoy playing Smash to kill some time, and the fact that you could have the handheld exclusive experience on the go, it even makes it even better. And you guys know earlier from the video how much I like me some Smash Ultimate in handheld mode. All in all, Super Smash Bros., like I said before, doesn't lie. It is literally the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Video game.
I think it's fair to say that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is literally one of the best video games I've seen in a long time. I mean, seriously, it's better than this freaking game. It's better than this freaking game. It's better than this. Oh, this game's actually pretty good. Better than this freaking game. Better than this freaking game. Better than this freaking game. And you guys know what I mean. Literally, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is literally the ultimate video game. Don't you agree, Pikachu?
No, I disagree, Mr. Wii. I think Superman 64 is the best video game ever.
Well, nobody asked you. Ugh, you're really getting on my nerves, Pikachu. I'm gonna have to use my special energy ball technique. You've pushed me way too far and I've had enough. Energy ball, oh! Haha, I'll throw this energy ball at you. But you know what? You're just trash, so you're not worth it. So I'll spare you just this one time. Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is such a great game on Nintendo Switch. It's a lot better than going outside in the stinky weather and hiking in a ditch. Anyhow, is this game great? Is it true? Well, one thing's for sure, it's a lot better than the game on Wii U. Anyhow, is this game truly great? Well, we'll talk about this in this great debate. Let's talk about the development of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate now, and I need to improve on my rhymes.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was developed by Bandai Namco Studios and Sora Ltd., the same studios that developed Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. And oh, did I mention how much of a machine Masahiro Sakurai is? Well, I didn't. He's a freaking machine! The game was in the works as far back as December 2015. Yeah, that's crazy. Sakurai wanted every character from the previous Super Smash Bros. Games to be in this video game. The World of Light mode took inspiration from Brawl's Subspace Emissary mode, which I think is cool. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was shown at E3 2018, and a lot of the fans went crazy when the game was released in December 2018. When the game was released, it was the most pre-ordered game for the Nintendo Switch in the entire Super Smash Bros. Series, and broke so many records in sales when it came to the Nintendo Switch. All in all, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was such a successful game, and I literally believe it deserves the accolade of being the ultimate Smash game. And oh, did I mention how much of a freaking machine Masahiro Sakurai is? Oh, I did already. Okay then.
Do you guys see this piece of paper right here? This piece of paper is the validation and proof of how amazing my childhood was. The original Super Smash Bros. The game I played as a young kid. Super Smash Bros. Melee, the game I played as an older kid and literally spent hours and hours all day and night playing that game after school on weekends. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. When I first bought the game, the first day, I literally marathoned the entire Subspace Emissary mode because that's how amazing that video game was. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. As soon as I bought the game, I played the online for hours and I got my butt kicked badly. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It has everything. Amazing and refined gameplay, the online is decent, and all in all, the World of Light mode is pretty good, and the classic mode is amazing. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a great game, so let's talk about the gameplay now of this video game. And man, writing stuff down is so productive.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Well, let me ask you guys this question. When it comes to the core gameplay, what Super Smash Bros. Game excels at its very best when asked around in the general Super Smash Bros. Community? Super Smash Bros. Melee. Well, I feel that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate comes close to Melee, but Melee still has it in small pieces. That's just my opinion personally. Nintendo did such an amazing job refining the core gameplay. Character models are more smooth, powers to certain moves have been balanced, and characters are at the speed and power which I feel is right. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's classic modes goes back to a more traditional classic mode which I feel is great. I like how each character has their own story. Mario battles Bowser, Link battles Ganondorf, and Samus battles Ridley. Just little aspects like that goes to show how massive and expansive the classic mode truly is. And then there's the World of Light. Oh boy. Honestly, Smash Ultimate could have literally been the perfect Smash game, but World of Light is an okay mode. It was fun, but it didn't wow me like Subspace Emissary did. I literally played Subspace Emissary overnight, so I know. Leveling up your stickers is very motivating and fun to experience, but honestly, Subspace Emissary had a lot more cutscenes, and I feel that going around in an overworld and side-scrolling map was a lot bigger and expansive in my opinion. World of Light gets repetitive, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. With the stickers, it definitely makes it more enjoyable, but I feel Subspace Emissary is better. And then the characters. Wow, over 70, nearly 80 fighters in this video game. This game has so many amazing characters. King K. Rool, Ridley were picks by fans, and you could tell that Nintendo really listened to what the fans wanted, because for years, many fans have wanted King K. Rool and Ridley. All in all, the gameplay of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is truly amazing in terms of content. It's literally undeniable. It is literally the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game, and I will beat that point down to the ground every single time because I feel that this game is deserving of the term ultimate. So what are my final thoughts about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch? Wow. It's truly been amazing seeing how much Super Smash Bros. Has evolved as a video game series. When I was a kid, I played the original Super Smash Bros. So much. With my friends and family, I literally played that Nintendo 64 cartridge so much. When I was older, I played Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I literally spent all night after school playing that video game. Just the memories I had with that video game, unlocking every character, Mewtwo and freaking Mr. Game & Watch. That was truly amazing memories, and literally seeing Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Wii U, and literally see this series turn into the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game. It's literally rewarding as a Super Smash Bros. Player. This is the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Video game. 70 characters, 100 stages, 800 pieces of soundtrack. This is truly the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game, undeniably. And it's amazing seeing how this series started and seeing where it is now. It literally makes me rewarding as a Smash fan to see this series turn into something special. And I am a huge Super Smash Bros. Fan. You guys have no idea how much this video game meant to my childhood, and seeing what it is now, it's literally special, because Smash Bros. Will be hands down one of the best video game series of all time, and I give Super Smash Bros. Ultimate a 10 out of 10. This is definitely in the top 10 of my favorite video games of all time. It's just so special seeing how this game has evolved into something special. And this is hands down will be a gem for decades to come. Thank you so much guys for watching this video game review, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Just know that Super Smash Bros. As a series was my childhood, and will be then, now, forever, my entire life. And I'll be playing Smash Bros. When I'm a lot older. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Man, I reviewed Kirby Star Allies exactly 1 year ago in early April. It was the 7th episode of my mystery reviews. Now for episode 26, I'm reviewing Kirby 64. Yes! Anyhow, Nintendo, can you please port over Kirby 64 to the Nintendo Switch, please? I mean, come on, seriously. Kirby 64 port, Kirby 64 port. Make it happen, Nintendo. I'm watching you, baby.
Kirby 64 for the Nintendo 64. Next to games like Paper Mario, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Party 2, I played Kirby 64 so much as a kid, and I really enjoyed this game quite a bit. It's actually my first favorite Kirby game in the entire Kirby series, and my second favorite is Kirby's Air Ride, and my third favorite is Kirby Star Allies. Anyhow, why do I feel that Kirby 64 is my most favorite game in the Kirby series? It's because this video game literally has everything that defines a Kirby game. Amazing gameplay, amazing soundtrack, an amazing story, unforgettable minigames. I truly feel that out of every single Kirby game I have played, I've had the most fun memories with this video game. Anyhow, for Mr. Wii Reviews episode 26, we will be reviewing Kirby 64 for the Nintendo 64. And man, I am so pumped up to do this video game review here today. So, without further ado, let's review Kirby 64 for the Nintendo 64, shall we? Let's get this video game review started. Kirby 64 for the Nintendo 64. Just like other Nintendo 64 games, this was Kirby's big adventure into 3D after an underwhelming Kirby's Dream Land 3 on the Super Nintendo and Kirby debuting in Smash Bros. A year prior to the release of this game. I think it's obvious that most fans were awaiting the next game in the series. What's funny is Kirby's Air Ride was originally planned to be on the Nintendo 64. It's obvious that Nintendo needed time to develop a new Kirby game right after the failed release of Kirby's Air Ride on the Nintendo 64. Why do I feel that Kirby 64 is the best game in the entire series? Well, multiple reasons. Number one, the music in this game is fantastic. When it comes to games that really have emotional and scary and epic music, Kirby 64 does it the best. The fact that you can combine power-ups really extends the core gameplay so much, and the fact that a secret final boss is waiting for you when you 100% the game adds both a fun and frustrating aspect to the replayability of this game. I will talk about that more later on. And the fact that the levels and boss battles in this game do exactly what you expect, having amazing visuals, amazing level design, and add a challenge that is satisfying to the player. All in all, Kirby 64 is such a great Nintendo 64 game and has a lot going for it in terms of how amazing this game is. This may seem a little off topic, but come on, Nintendo. Please give us Nintendo 64 online real soon. And give us Kirby 64, please. I mean, that would literally be amazing, thank you very much. Anyhow, let's talk about the development now of Kirby 64, shall we? Development for Kirby 64 took as long as 3 years to develop. The Nintendo 64 DD, also known as Nintendo 64 Disk Drive. It's obvious that Nintendo behind the scenes had big plans for this peripheral. You hear stories all the time of many games being released for this disk drive. Kirby 64 is no different. Screenshots of the game were originally posted on Nintendo.com on June 1st, 1999. When the game was released in North America on June 26, 2000, it got generally favorable reviews, and in my opinion, I feel that this is a great Kirby game. Kirby 64 actually has a very fun and engaging story, and is a little more complex compared to your average Kirby game. What I really like about Kirby 64 is that the story is broken up into these cool and fun cutscenes. Anyhow, let's talk about the story of Kirby 64, shall we?
Ripple Star, a planet populated by fairies, is invaded and conquered by dark matter. Ribbon, who is one of the fairies, flees from her home with the Great Crystal. Three dark matter shatter the crystal into pieces throughout the galaxy, and Ribbon falls into Popstar, home of Kirby. Ribbon gets help from Kirby, and along the way, dark matter tries to control Kirby's friends. But Kirby defeats his friends and they join along. Waddle Dee, Adeline, and King Dedede throughout the way help Kirby. Kirby tries to collect all the crystal shards and defeat dark matter once and for all. I really enjoy the cutscenes in Kirby 64. There are a lot of fun and amazing cutscenes in this game, and the animation in the cutscenes are amazing, and the music that plays during the cutscenes, it transitions very, very well. So all in all, whenever I watch the cutscenes in Kirby 64, they're entertaining and they definitely keep me satisfied throughout the game when I complete it.
Man, this video game is truly amazing. Don't you agree, Kirby?
I'm not a goddamn Kirby. I'm a Pikachu.
No, you're Kirby! You're Kirby! You're freaking Kirby! You're Kirby! Ah! Sorry, I had too much caffeine today. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of Kirby 64 now, shall we?
The gameplay of Kirby 64 is very enjoyable. This game has 6 worlds with 4 to 5 levels in each world. The levels in this game are visually amazing. World 4 has a ton of lava levels, World 5 has fun snow levels, and World 3 has fun water levels, and World 2 has fun desert worlds. Worlds 1 and 6 have fun levels as well. The level design in most of these levels are super simple. There are some unique enemies in this game as well, and the power-ups in this game are amazing and can help you out a lot in certain boss fights. My favorite item is the lightsaber sword. The boss battles in this game were very enjoyable. The shark boss was very difficult. This game had some other fun bosses as well. Miracle Matter, you can kiss my frickin' ass. That boss battle was way too hard and long and takes like 50 freaking hits to kill. This game also has some fun mini games as well. You got a hopping game and a game where you knock your opponents off the platform. Yeah, that's pretty dark. The only criticism I have of Kirby 64 is not so much the game itself, but the secret final boss at 100%. The reason I have a problem with this is that the game never tells you or explains that there is a final boss, and collecting the crystal shards in this game, all of them, is no easy task. Some of the shards in some of the levels are in the most unpleasant and cryptic spots. No freaking joke. When you do get the secret cutscene and you fight the real final boss 02, it's definitely more than satisfying, and unlocking some of the extras in the game later on, such as a sound test and a boss run mode, was more than pleasing to me. All in all, is Kirby 64 worth replaying? Well, I have 2 different answers. Yes and no. If you're completing the game just to complete it, then you're gonna have fun, but if you want to 100% this game, oh mama, you're gonna have a frustrating but fun time in my opinion. All in all, the gameplay of Kirby 64 is truly amazing.
So, what are my final thoughts about Kirby 64 for the Nintendo 64? Man, when I was around 5 or 6 years old as a kid, I played Kirby 64 so much, honestly. I remember when I was trying to 100% the game, all the frustrating times I had trying to find the crystal shards. The reason why I feel that Kirby 64 is not a perfect game is because when I was a kid, I had a difficult experience 100%ing the game, and that's the only main criticism I really have with Kirby 64. Besides that, Kirby 64 is a superb video game. It excels in every single aspect: gameplay, level design, visuals, minigames, and also the great cutscenes in this game as well. When it comes to video games, Kirby 64 is definitely one of the best Nintendo 64 games I've ever played. When I was a kid, I played Kirby 64 so much, and honestly, this is my most favorite game in the Kirby series. I'm not a huge Kirby fan like other people are, but I do appreciate the Kirby series and I respect it for what it is. and I truly feel it's definitely one of Nintendo's best series. Anyhow, what is the final score that I give Kirby 64? I'm gonna give Kirby 64 a 9 out of 10. It has every quality of a great game, but the only main criticism, like I said before, is just 100% in the game. But besides that, in every single aspect, Kirby 64 excels in. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching this video game review, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. The NES version of Double Dragon I like more than the actual arcade version. I feel that the gameplay is more fluid in the NES version, and this is just subjective, but I like the music better in the NES version. Anyhow, let's start this video. Enjoy the review. Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This video game came out on both the arcades and the Nintendo Entertainment System in the late 1980s. This was the game that helped define the fighting beat-em-up genre. And let me say this right now, I did not grow up in the early 80s with the Nintendo Entertainment System or the arcades, so I am not the best person to speak from experience when it comes to beat-em-up games. But I must say that I have played Double Dragon quite a bit back on the Wii Virtual Console and also on the Nintendo Switch Online. And honestly, I really enjoyed this game quite a bit, especially the NES version. The gameplay is very fluid in this game, and not only that, the music is awesome, and there are just so many fun and amazing levels. I can't wait to review Double Dragon here in this video game review today, so without further ado, let's start this review of Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let's get this review started, shall we? Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This video game came out back in 1987 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This video game has so many creative and enjoyable beat-em-up levels. This game's gameplay is truly amazing and is simple, with the A button punching and the B button kicking, having some cool enemies in addition to having some well-designed levels. Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System is such a fun and enjoyable video game. There were some sequels to Double Dragon, such as Double Dragons 2 and 3, but in my opinion, I feel that the original Double Dragon is the best. This game truly defined the 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up genre and is such a significant game on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Wii, are you seriously reviewing an old video game back from 32 years ago? You should be reviewing next-gen PS4 games. You're a disgrace. You suck as a reviewer and I'm disgusted.
You stupid freaking Pikachu. You're acting up again. I'm gonna have to teach you a lesson, you no-good Pokemon. Yeah, that's right, you no-good Pikachu. Taste my—
Oh, you just...
Oh, my bad. That's the wrong video game series I'm thinking of. Silly me. Let's talk about the development of Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System now, shall we?
Double Dragon was first released in the arcades back in 1987. There were so many video game systems that Double Dragon was released on. The Master System, Atari 2600, Atari 7800, Sega Genesis, Atari Lynx, and many more. It was so freaking crazy, but cool at the same time. When Double Dragon was first released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, Toys R Us actually said that the game in the United Kingdom sold 290,000 units in its first 2 weeks. Double Dragon had many sequels, like I previously stated before, Double Dragons 2 and 3 for NES, and all in all, Double Dragon is a really great NES game.
Man, Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System is such a fun video game. Don't you agree, Pikachu?
Mr. Wii, you just suck at reviewing and you're a piece of crap. Your reviews are so boring.
Well, nobody asked you, you no-good Pokemon. Ugh, you get on my nerves so freaking much. It's Mr. Wii this, Mr. Wii that. You suck at reviewing. You're a piece of garbage. Well, let me remind you that I have freaking feelings. Now take this, you no-good Pokemon. Man, I really need to sell that doll. Anyhow, let's talk about the gameplay now of Double Dragon, shall we?
Okay, time to talk about the gameplay of Double Dragon. Double Dragon is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up video game. There are 4 levels in Double Dragon. You press the A button to punch and the B button to kick. What I really like about Double Dragon is its simplistic controls. I'm serious, it really adds a whole lot to the gameplay, and whenever I play Double Dragon, I am hooked every time. What is cool too is every time you get enough points, your character levels up, learning new attacks along the way. Now honestly, these new attacks don't make the gameplay easier per se, but it does a good job of giving you new ideas to attack, giving you a versatile experience. At the end of every stage, you fight a boss, and the bosses deal a lot of hits. Honestly, this is just a minor criticism I have, but the bosses attack just as same as any other enemy in my opinion. In other video games, usually when you fight a boss, they have an attack pattern that is different than a usual enemy, but in this game all the bosses are the same, they just deal more hits. Honestly, this is just a super small criticism that I have with this game, and really doesn't affect my overall experience with the game. All in all, Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System really has amazing gameplay, the level design is great in this game, and the look of the levels themselves are really cool. All in all, Double Dragon for NES is a fun video game.
What are my final thoughts about Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System? Back in the 1980s, Double Dragon was one of the most popular video games out on the market. And there were so many people back in the 1980s who grew up with this video game. Sadly, I was born after this game was first released, so I never had the chance to truly experience this game when it first came out, but I played Double Dragon back on the Wii back in 2008, and I truly enjoyed this game. I had so much fun playing Double Dragon. Its amazing gameplay, its simplistic controls, its variety in bosses and enemies, and its amazing level design. I feel that Double Dragon is a great game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Double Dragon, I give an 8 out of 10. Double Dragon is a very fun video game. And if you're talking about video games that were the defining factor of the Nintendo Entertainment System, you have to put Double Dragon on the top of that list. This video game really pushed sales of the Nintendo Entertainment System, and all in all, this was just a great video game. See you guys next time, and I give Double Dragon an 8 out of 10. See you guys next time. Later. Does anybody notice how in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, the Happy Mask salesman just straight up strangles a 9-year-old child? I mean, what the heck? Yeah, he obviously has some inner demons. Let's start this video game review now, shall we? Enjoy the review! When you think of one of the most unique and interesting Legend of Zelda games in the entire Legend of Zelda series, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask definitely comes to mind. This video game takes place in an entirely new area called Termina, and this game looks very similar to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but don't let that deceive you. This video game was more puzzle-oriented than The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and this video game had one of the most unique and interesting side quest selection in the entire Legend of Zelda series. Anyhow, for Mr. Wii Reviews episode 28, I will be looking at The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64. So, without further ado, let's review The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64, shall we? The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64 is such an interesting video game. This video game had a very unique and dark story, with Skull Kid getting control of an evil mask such as the Majora's Mask, ruining Link's life by turning him into a Deku, stealing Epona, and plans on destroying a town called Termina with a scary looking moon. Holy shit, that moon face gave me nightmares as a kid, and plans on causing other and distinct chaos. Man, this video game is so sinister and destructive! I like it! The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, in terms of its music and the many different unique puzzle elements and its more dark and sinister tone, really makes it such a different game than The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It does look graphically identical to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and actually uses the same engine, but by giving this game a different look and feel, it not only makes this game different compared to Ocarina of Time, but I will go as far as saying it makes it very different compared to every single Legend of Zelda game in the entire Legend of Zelda series. Man, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64 is such a fun video game. I could play this video game for so many hours. I mean, it's... What the frick, Pikachu? Did you freaking fart? No farting in my freaking video game reviews! I'm not gonna tolerate your immature bullshit anymore!
I'm sorry, Mr. Wii. I didn't mean to make a stinky fart. You still like me, alright? I really want you to be my friend.
No, Pikachu! You aren't my freaking friend! You're the worst doll in history! Huh. Before I was so really interrupted by Pikachu's immature bodily functions, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask has a very dark and sinister story, and the puzzle elements in this game are definitely a one-of-a-kind. Anyhow, we are going to talk about the development history of this video game now. Let's talk about the development of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask now, shall we? And I need some air freshener! The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask development history is actually quite unique. Fans waited 5 years for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time after waiting for Link's Awakening.
they reused the same engine for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I have previously stated before. They decided to use the 3-day system in this video game to make the game data compact with more deep and intricate gameplay. Shigeru Miyamoto and Yoshiaki Kazumi came up with the story, and the script was written by Mitsuhiro Takano. When the game was first released, it sold 314,000 copies in its first week in Japan, with 3.36 million units worldwide. Like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask got exceptional reviews, scoring from 8 being the lowest to 10 being the highest by most review websites, and many fans feel that The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask in ways is better than The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. But that's a whole debate for another video. I personally enjoy The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask compared to Ocarina of Time, but in different ways. That's how I honestly feel about Majora's Mask.
Oh my gosh, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is such a fun video game! This video game is truly awesome!
Hi, Mr. Wii. Do you forgive me for earlier? I'm very, very sorry.
Okay, let's talk about the story of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask now, shall we?
Link is searching for his departed fairy Navi while riding on his horse with Epona. Link is ambushed by the Skull Kid, who is wearing the Majora's Mask. Skull Kid casts a curse, turning him into a Deku Scrub. Link runs into the Happy Mask salesman and says he will lift the curse if he gets the Majora's Mask back. Link goes through the 3 days and encounters Skull Kid. The moon is close to crashing down, but Link uses the Ocarina of Time to go back in time 3 days. Link is back in time 3 days and sees the Happy Mask salesman and heals the curse within him, but is irate that he didn't get the Majora's Mask back. He warns Link of how dangerous the mask is. While Link was interacting with Skull Kid, Taddy actually learned that there are 4 areas to awaken these giants. Link must explore these 4 massive areas and dungeons to get help from all 4 of these giants. With their help, they can prevent the moon from crashing into Termina. Can Link save Termina, get the help from the 4 giants, and defeat Skull Kid, who wields the dangerous and destructive Majora's Mask? Play the game to find out.
I'm just gonna be completely honest and real with you guys. When it comes to stories in the Legend of Zelda series, and honestly, I've played almost every single Legend of Zelda game, each one with amazing and incredible stories. Out of every single one of them, I personally find The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask story to be the best out of all of them. What The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask did in terms of its story was just amazing. This video game did a great job of capturing such a dark and eerie feel, and every time I encountered a story in this video game, the certain emotions I feel when it comes to just how dark and sinister the Majora's Mask is, and all the challenges and hurdles that Link must go through, it really makes me enjoy the story so much more, and I love the story of this video game. I truly feel it's the best out of every single Legend of Zelda game, and honestly, I wholeheartedly mean that. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask now, shall we?
The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is very fun, and the gameplay I feel is way more open-ended than The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was open-ended to a certain degree, but really was more of a progression-based video game. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is open-ended with almost everything. Collecting heart pieces, collecting items, uncovering certain events at certain times in this video game, going back in time 3 days and using the 3-day system. This video game is very fun and really offers so many fun challenges. But with that being said, I'm going to say this as both a positive and a negative. More positive now since I'm older. When I was a kid, I hated this game so much. Trying to solve all of the puzzles in this game as a kid, I got stuck on this game so much as a kid, and honestly, I never made it past a 10th of this video game. As I got older, and I discovered more of what this video game was truly about and actually playing it more, and beating this video game, I truly have come to respect the fact that this video game thrives on letting you, the player, think critically and solve many of the complex puzzles in this game. This video game can get downright difficult at a lot of points. You can get stuck on so much in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is a video game that tests your patience, it tests how to solve puzzles at certain times of the day, and this video game tries to test how you solve certain puzzles. If you want more of a straightforward Legend of Zelda game, honestly, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is what I'd recommend. If you want a Zelda game that's more mature with its story, and more mature with how this game carries itself, then The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is a game for you. I honestly believe that the developers of this video game developed this video game for more experienced gamers who want more of a Zelda game that thrives on challenge and complex and critical thinking, and all around a more mature Legend of Zelda game. Like I said, this isn't a negative, but as a kid I thought it was a negative back then because I didn't understand what this video game was trying to convey with its gameplay, but now that I'm older, I respect and appreciate what The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is all about. This video game has so many fun dungeons, so many interesting boss battles, collecting heart pieces was so enjoyable in this game, riding Epona was great, and all of the side stories and its dark and clever music really makes The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask a fun and unforgettable game in the entire Legend of Zelda series.
So what are my final thoughts about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64? Wow, when you talk about one of the best Nintendo 64 games, you have to put The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask on the top of that list. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was more of a straightforward video game. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask was more puzzle-oriented, it had a dark and sinister soundtrack, and all in all, this is a very enjoyable video game. If you guys are younger, or haven't played The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, I only recommend this game if you want more of a challenging Legend of Zelda game, and more of a mature type of Legend of Zelda game. Anyhow, the final score that I give this video game is a 9 out of 10. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is awesome. It has amazing gameplay, amazing puzzle elements, and this is truly one of the best games on Nintendo 64. Thank you so much guys for watching this video game review, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Dragon Ball GT, the red-headed stepsister of the series. I'm just gonna be completely real and honest with you guys. GT was awesome. Alright, let's get this review started, shall we? Enjoy the review! When you think of awesome Dragon Ball Z video games, so many video games come to mind. You got the Dragon Ball Z Budokai series, the Tenkaichi series, games like Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit, the Raging Blast games, the Legacy of Goku video games, and also Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. So, there are so many amazing Dragon Ball Z video games. However, very early on, back on the PlayStation 1, back in the mid-1990s, back when in Japan Dragon Ball GT was very popular, a video game called Dragon Ball GT Final Bout came out, and it really wasn't that good of a video game. And I'll go more into detail in this video game review here today, and I'll explain my certain problems that I have with this video game. However, there are some genuinely good things that I like about Dragon Ball GT Final Bout as well, but most of the majority of it is really not that good. So, anyhow, I really think that this will be a fun video game review, and I can't wait to review Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. So, without further ado, let's get this video game review started, shall we? We're gonna review Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for the PlayStation 1. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. This video game offers quite a bit when it comes to content. There is a mode where you can fight many of the well-known Dragon Ball GT characters and earn experience, and honestly, I thought that was a really cool mode. Not only that, you got multiple awesome Dragon Ball GT characters, but one major criticism that I have is that there are multiple variants of each character. Like, did we really need 4 different Gokus in this freaking game? Ugh. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout's major downfall, unfortunately, has to be its gameplay. It's not completely bad, you can punch somewhat, but really doesn't offer any unique combos, and moving around just feels so stiff and awkward in this video game. I just don't understand how the gameplay could be so shallow, since games like Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22 came around before this game and really had great gameplay. It's really unfortunate because if Dragon Ball GT Final Bout's gameplay was better, this definitely would be a game worth playing. It's really unfortunate that the gameplay of Dragon Ball GT Final Bout is this video game's biggest downfall. Because honestly, there are so many great Dragon Ball GT characters, and the mode selection in this game is actually really good. It's really unfortunate. Anyhow, we are going to talk about the development of Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Let's talk about the development, shall we? Bandai kept Dragon Ball GT Final Bout under wraps for most of its development. The game didn't come out in North America until much later and was unveiled at the 1997 Tokyo show. Unfortunately, most video game review sites gave this video game a very low score, and I could understand why. I literally agree with most of those freaking critics. I have played this game, and honestly, it controls very poorly. It's obvious that Namco Bandai rushed this video game out and didn't put much time into making it, and the reception on this video game definitely shows. This is the 8th time I've lost on Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. You know what this video game is like? It's like a lethal dose of poison, injecting in your very bloodstream, destroying your body, willing to kill you by every single living second. I literally need help in this video game. I need somebody. I know. Pikachu! Help!
What do you want, Mr. Wii? I'm on the toilet. I had way too many white castles earlier.
What the frick, Pikachu? This is no time to be on the frickin' toilet! He'll be out on this Dragon Ball GT Final Bout video game! No! Huh. Man, I literally have no help. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. And I am never gonna beat this video game. Okay, let me ask you guys this question right now. What makes a great fighting game? Let me say this. A unique and intricate combo system, fast-paced gameplay, and fluent movement speeds. Now let me say this. Does Dragon Ball GT Final Bout have any of that? The million-dollar question? No! Okay, like I have previously stated before in this video game review, I really enjoyed a mode where you fight the characters and level up. One, because it was way too easy and I literally got to a point where I was one-shotting my opponents, and two, leveling up just felt rewarding in a sense, which is what great RPG elements do, but really doesn't help the major issue of this video game. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout's gameplay is horseshit. It's pure crap. Punching feels awkward and stiff, moving around feels stiff, and the camera angles in this video game are just very awkward at times. I'm being serious right now. I just don't understand how they can make the gameplay this bad. Now, I understand that the argument could be made that their intention was to bring it to the Japanese market, so their efforts weren't that great, but then let me say this. Why release it in North America then a few years later if you know that not that many people are gonna buy this video game? I know that the argument could also be made that Dragon Ball GT aired in North America around that time as well, but honestly, the reception this game has gotten is really not that good. I will say that the game is not completely broken. The game is somewhat playable, but honestly, it is just the bare minimum. Games like Dragon Ball Z Budokai and Tenkaichi would definitely improve the gameplay nearly many times over. All in all, Dragon Ball GT's gameplay is bad. The modes are decent, but the gameplay is just pure, unadulterated monkey shit, and honestly, I mean that wholeheartedly. So, what are my final thoughts about Dragon Ball GT Final Bout? Like I've stated before, this video game has some great modes, and the character selection is very good in this video game, but the main issue, like I've said before, that this video game has is the gameplay. The gameplay isn't completely broken, but it's very shallow, and to a certain degree, it's quite fun, but games like Dragon Ball Z Budokai and Tenkaichi really offer so much more with the gameplay than this video game does. Now, I understand that this video game came out in the mid-1990s, but if you look at games that came out before this game, like Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, that just has superb gameplay, then you honestly can't give Dragon Ball GT Final Bout any excuses either. The gameplay is not that good, and the final score that I give Dragon Ball GT Final Bout is a 5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this video game review, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. And by the way, how does my awesome hair look? See you guys later, and bye. just gonna be honest and real with you guys. Only once or twice in my entire life did I make it to the key level in the original Pac-Man. That game is just way too darn hard in my opinion.
I make it to the key level every single playthrough, Mr. Wii.
Well, nobody asked you, Pikachu. Ugh, frickin' annoying doll. Let's start this review now, shall we? Enjoy the review. When I was a kid, one of the Nintendo GameCube video games I played the most was Pac-Man World 2. I never played the original Pac-Man World, but I have played Pac-Man World 2, and oh my goodness, out of every single Pac-Man game in the entire series, Pac-Man World 2 is my all-time favorite. I did play Pac-Man World 3 and I really don't know what to say about that game. But Pac-Man World 2 is literally awesome. There were so many awesome open-ended and amazing levels. The level design and graphics were amazing, having such unique and well-designed levels, having fire levels and spooky levels, water levels, snow levels. Man, this has so much graphical detail as much as games like Super Mario 64. Anyhow, for this video game review here today, we are going to review Pac-Man World 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. I can't wait to do this video game review here today. So, without further ado, let's review Pac-Man World 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. Let's get this video game review started, shall we? Pac-Man World 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. This video game has so many fun and open-ended levels. There are so many things to collect in this video game too. The main incentive being the tokens, which unlock the arcade games, but let me say this right now, good luck unlocking Miss Pac-Man. The token demand for this video game will make your head explode, I'm serious. Pac-Man World 2 has so many fun and interesting levels, and the gameplay is very fun. Pac-Man can spin jump in this game, going through some high slopes, and he can jump too, defeating many of the interesting enemies in this game. This game also has some fun maze levels too, that brings inspiration to the original Pac-Man, but come on now, we all know the original Pac-Man has more appeal when it comes to that. The soundtrack in this video game is amazing, and it's so catchy and upbeat. The boss battles were pretty annoying in this game. I'll elaborate more on that later on in this review. All in all, Pac-Man World 2 offers a nice balance of fun and challenge while having some visually nice and appealing levels. Man, Pac-Man World 2 is just an amazing video game. Alright guys, we are going to talk about the development of Pac-Man World 2. By the way, this is my dog Tiny. He's such an amazing dog, I love him very much. You're a good boy, aren't you? Yes you are. You're a good dog. You're a great dog. Best dog ever. Okay guys, let's talk about development of Pac-Man World 2 now, shall we? Who's a good boy? You are. You the man, Tiny. You the man. Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. You the man. Pac-Man World 2 was developed by Namco and was released on every major platform back in the year of 2002. Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, and the Game Boy Advance. Not much information is really known about its development, but the game got average to good review scores by most gaming review critics. Next Generation ranked it the 56th highest selling game launched for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube between January
January 2000 and July 2006 in its country. Combined sales of Pac-Man World games released in the 2000s reached 1,800,000 units in the United States by July 2006. The game's camera system was officially the main criticism by most video game review critics, and honestly, I actually agree with that. The camera system in this game was lackluster.
You're a good dog, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I love this dog very, very much. You're a good boy.
Man, Pac-Man World 2 is such a fun video game! Anyhow, Pac-Man World 2 has an amazing story! Let's talk about the story of this video game!
Back in medieval times, the evil Ghost King Spooky terrorized Pac-Land and the Pac people. The great wizard Pac created a powerful potion to transform 5 fruit from Pac-Land into the magical golden fruit. A brave young knight named Sir Pax-a-Lot battled and defeated Spooky and used his golden fruit to seal him under a tree. Spooky returns and the ghosts steal the golden fruit, and Pac-Man must get them back and defeat Spooky once and for all. Ooh, my voice is so high and mighty. I really enjoy the story of this video game. Spooky was a new and interesting villain, and he had such an epic and mighty design. I like how big and powerful he looks, and he is such a memorable villain in the Pac-Man series in my opinion. All in all, the story of this video game is great.
Man, I just defeated the Red Ghost Clyde! Man, I'm getting kinda tired. I could really go for a coffee right now. Yay! A caffeinated beverage for me! Yippee!
Mr. Wee, please forgive me that I drank all your coffee. You're not happy, are you?
What the frick, Pikachu? You drank my coffee? I'm gonna be tired when I review. This game can't get any worse. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of Pac-Man World 2, and I could really use a coffee right now. I hate that frickin' doll.
I am going to talk about the gameplay of Pac-Man World 2. Pac-Man World 2 has a lot of fun levels. The levels are just well designed. Now throughout the game, there are these tokens. These unlock classic Pac-Man arcade games like Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, Pac-Attack, and Miss Pac-Man. Some of them do require less than others. Pac-Mania was a really fun game, so I'm glad they required less than Miss Pac-Man. The levels look great in this game, having snow levels, lava levels, and grassland levels, and Pac-Man's attacks are very versatile, having a spin attack and a jumping kick. You get 1-ups in this game too, which makes it easier, and you have a health bar. There are so many hazards and pitfalls in this game that will drive you up a brick wall. Losing health is just so easy. Then the boss battles. I touched base on this a little bit earlier, but apparently the ghosts have these machines. Inky and Blinky weren't too bad, but man, Pinky and Clyde, oh my goodness, they gave me so much trouble as a kid. The final boss battle of Spooky was very fun. All in all, the gameplay of Pac-Man World 2 is very enjoyable. It has great depth in its level design and gameplay, which I feel is just amazing.
So, what are my final thoughts about Pac-Man World 2? Unfortunately, I don't think that Pac-Man World 2 is a great game, but I do think that Pac-Man World 2 is a good game. Here are the things that bothered me about Pac-Man World 2. I have 3 of them. Number 1 is that the camera was off-putting in this video game. I touched base on this in the development's part of this review. Number 2 is that finding tokens at times got way too difficult, and most of them were really in very unpleasant spots. And number 3 is that the boss battles in this game were frustrating at times. But besides those cons, Pac-Man World 2 is an amazing video game. This video game has so many well-designed and amazing levels, and this is truly a great video game. When I was a kid, I played this video game so much on my Nintendo GameCube, and I had a blast playing this video game. Even nowadays, from time to time, if I don't have much going on, I still play this video game. Anyhow, the score I am going to give Pac-Man World 2 is a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, as you guys know, this is actually the 30th episode of my Mystery Review series, and I am very proud of myself. I have been reviewing video games for 1 year and 8 months now. My very first review was my Super Mario Odyssey review back in November of 2017. Just so you guys know, if you want to check out my video game reviews, simply go to the playlist section of my YouTube channel. That's where I have all of my main reviews, my quick reviews, and my meal reviews. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching episode 30 of Mr. Wii Reviews, and I'll be back for episode 31 sometime soon. Thanks for watching this Pac-Man World 2 review. See you guys later and bye, adios. Back in the year of 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog made his debut on the gaming world and definitely changed the gaming industry forever. Sega was Nintendo's first real competition, and I can't wait to review this video game here today. Let's review Sonic the Hedgehog! Ha 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 ha!
What Nintendo?
Enjoy the review!
Get Professor Pikachu's baby back ribs for only $10.99. It's a delicious and scrumptious meal. All you gotta do is visit Professor Pikachu today.
Pikachu, you freaking character! You're so stupid! You're so stupid! If you ever interrupt my reviews again for self-promotion, I'll personally have to find you and headbutt you! Haha, you freaking noob! Hey guys! What's up? This is Mr. Wii here, and I'm excited! You wanna know why I am excited? Because I am reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. Coming out in the year of 1991, this was Sega's first attempt to compete with Nintendo. And back in the 1990s, Sega was successful. In the early to mid 1990s, Sega was performing greatly with their all-new and hypeful Sega Genesis, having great games such as Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, Phantasy Star, Streets of Rage, Flicky. The list goes on and on. Sega was producing top quality games, rivaling Nintendo, and even beating them in the early to mid 1990s. Nintendo had to step up their game with their Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo came out back in the year of 1991, and the Sega Genesis was released in the markets of 1989. So the Sega Genesis came out 2 years earlier than the Super Nintendo. When Sonic the Hedgehog came out, there was a lot of buzz going around the Sega Genesis. It was a huge console war in the mid-1990s with two of these systems. Anyhow, the game reviewed today is the original Sonic the Hedgehog. The original Sonic the Hedgehog is an amazing video game. This video game has amazing gameplay, awesome zones, an awesome soundtrack, and it's just 2D fast-paced side-scrolling action with our amazing blue hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog! Sorry, I can't get tired of saying that. So, without further ado, for Mr. Wii Reviews episode 31, we will be reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. Let's get this video game review started, shall we? Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. This video game came out back in the year of 1991 and was the first video game for the Blue Hedgehog. This video game has 6 amazing zones. Green Hill Zone, a great zone to really get a feel for what's to come next later on. Marble Zone, dull, uninspiring, and slow-paced platforming that'll make your head explode. I'm literally serious. This zone literally kills the pacing of this video game. Spring Yard Zone, a fun zone with these bouncy pinballs that really gave me a lot of amusement. I chuckled a little bit. Labyrinth Zone, literally the kiss of death for water themed levels. Starlight Zone, I just gotta say, why are there so many random pitfalls at awkward times in this level? And Scrap Brain Zone, it's a very difficult zone, as what's come to expect it from final levels in video games. Each zone looks amazing, having 3 levels or acts as they are called in this video game, and each one has amazing level design and
unique graphical detail. These zones offer a great mix of fast-paced gameplay and unique platforming elements to keep the game fun and engaging for anybody who plays Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm serious, when it comes to 2D platformers, I feel Sonic does it better than Mario. Now that's a completely subjective opinion, but regarding how I personally feel, I enjoy the 2D Sonic games more than the 2D Mario games. Sonic the Hedgehog's fast-paced gameplay is something I have come to appreciate and enjoy over the years whenever I play Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is truly one of the best video games I have played, and I genuinely feel that way.
Okay, we are going to talk about the development of Sonic the Hedgehog now, shall we?
In 1990, Sega ordered its development studio to develop a game featuring a mascot for the company. This was originally intended for Alex Kidd, but he was considered too similar to Nintendo's mascot Mario. Sega president Hayao Nakayama wanted a character as iconic as Mickey Mouse. Nintendo was dominant around that time. The team developed some animals. A hedgehog character was proposed by Naito Oshima and ended up becoming Sonic the Hedgehog. When the game was first released, Sonic the Hedgehog brought Sega to unprecedented heights. During the holiday season in 1991, the Sega Genesis outsold the Super Nintendo, and in January 1992, Sega had 65% of the market in 16-bit consoles, although later on Nintendo overtook Sega. Sonic the Hedgehog is still one of the greatest gaming franchises today. There have been so many future 2D and 3D Sonic games that it has made Sonic the Hedgehog's legendary iconic in the gaming industry.
Alright, let's talk about the story of Sonic the Hedgehog now, shall we?
Dr. Robotnik steals the 6 Chaos Emeralds and traps the animals of South Island in these metal capsules. The player controls Sonic and tries to free the animal friends and collect all of the Chaos Emeralds. The story is pretty much non-existent in this video game. There are barely any indicators to explain what the story is, but with what we have here, it does a good job of explaining just enough with the gameplay to give the player a general idea. The story of Sonic the Hedgehog is good.
Alright, now it's time to talk about the gameplay of Sonic the Hedgehog now.
Sonic the Hedgehog is a fast-paced 2D platforming video game with fun and aesthetically pleasing level design. Sonic's games have always revolved around fast-paced 2D side-scrolling gameplay, and the first game was the focal point of what future Sonic the Hedgehog games would establish. I really enjoyed a lot of the zones in this video game. My personal favorite zones are Green Hill Zone, Spring Yard Zone, and Starlight Zone. I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't like Marble Zone. I love Marble Zone. There are some power-ups to make Sonic's journey all the more fun. There are boxes for rings, 1-ups, and an invincibility, and Dr. Robotnik has his robotic buddies to help cause trouble as well. If you get 50 rings, you can go on a special stage where you have a chance to get the Chaos Emeralds. Collect all 6 of the Chaos Emeralds, and I will say this much: the ending will be very surprising for you. At the end of every third act, you fight Dr. Robotnik, and he has some clever and unique ways to defeat you, so stay on your guard. All in all, I really enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog. This game has amazing level design, and the look and feel of the zones are just amazing too. I feel Sonic the Hedgehog's 2D video games are the best of the best, and Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis is no exception.
Wow, Professor Pikachu! Your baby back ribs are just like how you advertised them in the ad! Very delicious and scrumptious! Now get out of my sight, you no-good Pikachu! So, what are my final thoughts about Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis video game system? Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the best 2D platforming video games ever made. This is definitely one of the best video games ever made. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis has amazing level design, great aesthetically looking zones, awesome secrets like the special stage. There are so many great enemies in this video game as well, and the Dr. Robotnik boss fights are very enjoyable. I personally enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog's games more than Mario's games when it comes to 2D video games. The fast-paced gameplay is something that really hooks me into the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Anyhow, the score that I am going to give Sonic the Hedgehog is a 9 out of 10. There's only one small reason why I didn't give this game a 10 out of 10. This game is pretty short. Now, future Sonic games like Sonic the Hedgehogs 2 and 3 would have more zones, making the games much longer, but honestly, you could beat the original Sonic the Hedgehog in an hour or under an hour. So, this game definitely lacks substance, but play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, that has a lot more zones. But with what we have here, Sonic the Hedgehog has had a lasting impact on our legacy of video games, and I give Sonic the Hedgehog a 9 out of 10. Truly a classic video game. Anyhow, thank you so much guys for watching this Mr. Wii Review, episode 31, and I'll see you guys for episode 32. Take care and check out my other videos. I got a lot of reviews. Later.
What the fuck is this shit? What did they do to Sonic? What the fuck did they do to Sonic the Hedgehog? The fuck is this shit? What the fuck is up with Sonic? What the fuck did they do to the design? The fuck?
Heck yeah! I'm playing my most favorite video game ever! This is my favorite video game of all time! Super Mario 64! Woohoo!
You're playing Super Mario 64, Mr. Wii? I wanna play.
No, Professor Pikachu! You can't play Super Mario 64! I wanna play this game all night, so buzz off, you!
If you don't give me that damn controller, I'll tell everybody your biggest and most darkest secret ever.
You know what? Alright, screw it. I freaking give up. Alright, Professor Pikachu, you can play Super Mario 64. Ugh.
Yay!
What am I gonna do with that doll? Ugh. Enjoy the review. Out of every single video game that I've played throughout the years, and I've played so many video games, far too many to keep track of, the one that has the most significance to me has to be Super Mario 64. When I was 3 years old and I first saw the Nintendo 64, I saw my older brother Steve playing that game, and because I was so young and new to the world at the time, I picked up my first ever video game and I played Super Mario 64 for the very first time. And I ended up loving the game so much. I played the game for hours and hours and hours. And I truly had a blast and I truly enjoyed everything that Super Mario 64 had to offer. And I would have to say, as a video game, Super Mario 64 excels in literally every aspect of what a video game should be. Amazing level design, amazing sound, unforgettable bosses. Super Mario 64 is truly one of the best video games I've ever played. And the game came out on a Nintendo 64 back in 1996. The game was actually a launch title for the Nintendo 64. And to this day, Super Mario 64 is one of the best-selling video games on the Nintendo 64. So, for this edition of Mr. Wii Reviews, we will be looking at one of my favorite video games of all time, Super Mario 64. Woohoo! Let's get this video game review started, shall we?
Mario 64 is such an amazing video game. This game was the stepping stone and the blueprint for future platforming video games to follow. Around the time Super Mario 64 came out, another game called Crash Bandicoot came out as well, and Sony was experimenting with 3D as well. Crash Bandicoot was such a great game, but Super Mario 64 completely shattered all expectations of how a 3D video game should be structured and presented. Super Mario 64 has 15 courses, and you collect all 120 Power Stars. Now what I find really cool about this video game is that you can choose which Power Stars you want to get at each certain time, giving the player a sense of freedom and a choice on when to get certain Power Stars. You can beat this video game with a minimum of 70 stars, but if you collect all 120 Power Stars, you get a special reward, but I won't spoil that for any of you new players out there. Now what really intrigues me about Super Mario 64 every single time I play it is its simplistic controls and amazing visuals. I'm serious, every level in this game looks visually amazing and the controls in this video game respond very well. Each star mission was different and unique too, adding variety to this video game. All in all, Super Mario 64 is such a fun and engaging video game.
Man, Super Mario 64 is such a fun video game. Let's talk about the development of Super Mario 64 now, shall we?
Shigeru Miyamoto thought of Super Mario 64's 3D Mario design as far back as Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. Shigeru Miyamoto wanted to utilize the Super Effects chip to create an amazing Mario game. Rumors throughout the years said that this video game was supposed to be called Super Mario FX, but these were just rumors at the time. Shigeru Miyamoto decided to take this project to the Nintendo 64, and thus Super Mario 64 was created. Super Mario 64 came out back on the Nintendo 64 back in 1996. In the first 3 months of 1997, it was the second best-selling console game in the United States, and then the game became the best-selling game ever on the Nintendo 64. Super Mario 64 is such an amazing video game, and its legacy surely can't be mistaken. It's one of the greatest video games of all time.
Oh, Super Mario 64. Oh, your gaming greatness. I must play you. I must play the Super Mario 64. Whoa. Pikachu! Did you beat the game? Are you farther into the game?
Well, you see...
He got a game over! No! What the frick, Pikachu? I'm never letting you play this video game ever again! You suck at the game! I am so upset. Let's talk about the story of Super Mario 64 now. And I need to sell that doll off Amazon!
The story of Super Mario 64 is that Bowser has stolen all of the Power Stars and has kidnapped Princess Peach. Mario must go through all of the paintings to get all the Power Stars back and defeat Bowser once and for all. The story is fairly simple in this video game, but it was a good story to really set the tone for what this game really is. All in all, the story in this game is good.
Alright, let's talk about the gameplay of Super Mario 64 now.
Super Mario 64 has 15 courses with 120 Power Stars. Now to advance into the game, you have to collect Power Stars. I have to say that the lush open worlds in this video game are truly what make this video game shine. Courses like Cool Mountain, Dire Docks, and Bob-omb Battlefield are some well-designed and awesome courses in this video game. Platforming has never felt more cooler, and the missions in this video game have a lot of variety. I'm not gonna lie, the 8 red coin missions were redundant, but the other missions like racing Koopa the Quick or battling Bowser or going on top of these platforms really added a lot of variety to this video game. Now this game takes a while to beat. It takes me 6 hours on average to 100% the game, but every single time I play Super Mario 64, I'm always intrigued by its excellent level design and visual design. What makes Super Mario 64 such a good game too is that this game has a lot of secret stars, even adding more variety to this video game. All in all, Super Mario 64 is an amazing video game. Every single time I play this game, I can sit down for hours and hours and truly enjoy this game from start to finish. It's one of the best video games I've ever played.
So what are my final thoughts about Super Mario 64? Super Mario 64 is my favorite video game ever. It's my #1 favorite. Whenever I play video games, there is no other video game that captivates me the way Super Mario 64 does. Super Mario 64 literally excels in every single aspect. Level design, gameplay, story. And I've had so many awesome memories of this video game as a kid. To the day I die, I will still be playing Super Mario 64. This video game is, was, and will always be my childhood, and I truly enjoy this video game so much. It has such a strong significance to me as a gamer, and I truly feel that this is one of the best video games I've ever played. Super Mario 64 gets a 10 out of 10. I truly feel that game is easily well deserving of that score, and if you guys are new or have never played Super Mario 64, I recommend this masterpiece of a video game. Heck, if you're a gamer in general, I recommend this video game. Anyhow, thank you so much guys for watching this video game review, and I'll see you guys next time. Later. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is such a fun video game. But let me just say this, it's not a perfect video game by any means. It has a mix of both pros and cons. Isn't that right, Professor Pikachu?
I don't like Dragon Ball Z games.
What? You don't like Dragon Ball Z? Well, you're a noob. Get out of here, you. I have so many lamos in my life. Ugh. Enjoy the review. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is literally a dream come true when it comes to Dragon Ball Z fans. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is an open world sandbox game where you can explore massive areas, find items, and level up, and go through the massive story of Dragon Ball Z. But the game is not perfect by any means. This is a great game, don't get me wrong, but there are some pros and cons, and I'll discuss both of them in this video game review here today. The game is very impressive, but the things that really irk me about this video game is how the subquests are necessary to level up even further, And not only that, leveling up in this video game has its issues, so I'll discuss this in this review here today. But besides that, the video game is really good. Going through massive areas and finding items is truly amazing. Catching fish to increase your health is just so cool. And surprisingly, the combat system in this game is really amazing. I'd actually give it the edge over games like Xenoverse 1 and 2. So Dragon Ball Z Kakarot actually has a lot going for it despite its overwhelming cons. Anyhow, what are my thoughts about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot in this video game review here today? Well, I'll tell you guys. For Mr. Wii Reviews episode 33, we will be reviewing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Let's get this video game review started, shall we? And I'm pumped as heck! Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is such a fun video game. It takes a new approach and a new perspective on the original Dragon Ball Z story. The fights in this video game are a lot more fun to experience. The open world exploration in this video game is excellent. And not only that, giving the player the option to grind health and other skills really gives a lot of versatility to this video game as well. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has a lot of positives, but if I were to talk about the things that really bothered me about this video game, there are quite a few. Farming for experience in this video game literally took way longer than it should. I know you can use soul emblems on King Kai to make the experience rate faster, but there's no freaking reason why I should be spending 3 to 4 freaking hours grinding for one stupid freaking level! Come on, game! Don't do this to me! Ugh! Another criticism I have of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is how the game randomly gives a lot of players a crap ton experience throughout the story. Now, some may see it as convenient, but I see it as literally freaking lazy. Maybe if you put all that focus on giving more XP rates or farming enemies, this game could literally feel like more of an RPG in my opinion. Do you guys really want me to go further with more of the cons of this video game? Well, sure. Why the heck not? Also, what bothers me about this video game too is that the fights can get way too damn difficult at times. If you aren't leveled up high enough, you will get the shit kicked out of you time and time again. And let me say this, I've lost so many damn fights in this game that when I do grind, I can't because the XP rates are way too damn low. This game also encourages you to do side quests, and I have to say this, some of them are really cool and offer a different experience when playing this video game, but man, if you skip those side quests, good freaking luck because you can't go back to them, which is another criticism I have of this freaking stupid video game 2. That's literally 5 criticisms I just laid out to you guys in the span of 2 freaking minutes. I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is an excellent video game, but this game has a lot of noticeable flaws, and as a video game reviewer, it's my job to talk about them. And woo, there's quite a bit. But I have to say this, for what it's worth, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot altogether, despite its frustrations, really gave me an amazing experience when playing this video game, and despite all of the criticisms I just laid out to you guys, I can't deny that this is the best Dragon Ball Z game I've played in years in my opinion. And yes, I am wholeheartedly being serious. So what are my final thoughts about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a very fun video game. The open world sandbox exploration in this game is phenomenal. And not only that, giving the player so many options to grow your abilities when it comes to fishing I think is really cool. And all in all, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot from a visual perspective is just excellent. Well, like I said, this game has a lot of cons honestly. Leveling up takes way too long and the fights can get downright difficult at times. But for what it's worth, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot gave me a solid experience all in all through. So the final score that I am going to give Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a 7 out of 10. I really feel that this is a great video game, and like I said, This video game was able to implement an open sandbox world like not any other Dragon Ball Z game has done in the past, and that in my opinion is truly an impressive feat. Anyhow, thank you so much guys for watching this video game review, and I'll see you guys next time. Later. Man! Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is my favorite Pokemon game ever! I played that video game so much as a kid, and it's truly amazing!
I disagree with you, Mr. Lee. Hey, Pikachu is the best Pokemon game ever!
What, you no good Pikachu? You like Hey You Pikachu? That video game is pure unadulterated monkey trash! Pokemon XD is the best Pokemon video game ever! In my opinion, at least. Enjoy the review. Oh heck yeah! I'm wrecking the crap out of everybody with my overpowered Eternatus! I am winning at Pokemon Sword! Pokemon Sword is truly amazing, but it sure as heck doesn't compare to the older Pokemon games. You know, Pokemon Red and Blue were amazing RPGs back in the day, but when Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 came out, they were battle-oriented games. But then, in a lovely year of 2004, Pokemon Coliseum for the Nintendo GameCube came out and had many of the amazing RPG elements that Pokemon Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, and Ruby and Sapphire had. But then, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness came out, and pew! It literally evolved every single aspect of Pokemon Coliseum, and literally had amazing battle system and amazing RPG elements, and even more shadow Pokemon to collect in that video game. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is like Pokemon Coliseum on steroids. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is amazing. Not just amazing, truly amazing, motherfucker. But yeah, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness I played all the time as a kid, and I can't wait to review this video game here today. So for Mr. Wii Reviews episode 34, reviewing Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Man, am I so excited. Let's get this video game review started, shall we? Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for the Nintendo GameCube. This video game is a continuation of the story in Pokemon Coliseum, taking 5 years into the future. Although, you play as a different protagonist this time. Not the badass Final Fantasy clown wannabe, but instead you play as a young kid. I believe the default name he goes by is Michael. Hey, that's my name. What interesting coincidence. Now, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness has an interesting combination of Pokemon battles, and there are some new characters and returning characters. Returning characters being the likes of Mayor B and Gonza. But I actually have to say, guys, the new characters are interesting. Just like in Pokemon Coliseum, later on in this video game, it is revealed that the good guy you meet at GTM Port is indeed the mastermind behind the Shadow Pokemon scheme, Greedfall.
battle, which I will talk about in the story aspect of this video game review. This video game also has even more shadow Pokemon to collect. A major criticism of Pokemon Coliseum, well, two to be exact, is that there is one stupid move called Shadow Rush, and you can only catch one shadow Pokemon per Pokemon battle, which is just lame. This Pokemon video game gives you more shadow moves, and on top of that, you can catch multiple Pokemon in the same battle, which I feel evolves upon the gameplay of Pokemon Coliseum. And not only that, there are even more shadow Pokemon to collect. Coliseum had more Johto Pokemon in my opinion, but I feel that this video game has more Kanto Pokemon when it comes to shadow Pokemon. Not only that, this video game has a lot of new interesting areas in this game. Like Geichian Port was a new and interesting area, and Dark Isle, the final area in this Pokemon video game, was very interesting too. All in all, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness keeps things very similar to Pokemon Coliseum, in addition to adding some new and interesting additions, and I feel that is what any true sequel to any video game should do.
It took me a while. I had to use a Pokeball because I ran out of Ultra Balls. Shadow Lugia. Where's Shadow Lugia? Where the frick is Shadow Lugia? Where's Shadow Lugia? He's not in my party! What's going on here? Pikachu, is this your undoing?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wii. I forgot to save your game while you were sleeping earlier. But you're still my friend, right? I really want you to be my friend. Really badly. I want you to be my friend. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
You forgot to click save? You forgot to click save, you no good Pikachu? You piece of shit! I oughta kick your ass! I'm gonna kick your ass right now, you no good Pikachu! Get over here, you piece of shit! I oughta fuck you up, boy!
We're sorry, Mr. Wii. I'm very sorry. I want my body. I want my body. Very sorry. Please forgive me, Mr. Wii. Please,
Pikachu! Or I could just use the Master Ball that I bought earlier in the game. I am an idiot. I didn't know I had a Master Ball. But you still suck, Pikachu. Okay, ladies and germs, it's time to talk about the development of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Let's talk about development of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness now, shall we?
Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is a sequel to Pokemon Coliseum. Pokemon Coliseum was released back in 2004, and the game was successful. In March of 2005, Reggie Fils-Aimé said that Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness would be a new Nintendo GameCube video game, but not a sequel to Pokemon Coliseum. He said that the gameplay would be similar to Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Later on, Japanese magazines Famitsu and Koro later gave screenshots of its 3D graphics looking similar to Pokemon Coliseum. It was also revealed that it would continue having Shadow Pokemon, and the player starts with an Eevee and can evolve it into the famous 5 Eevee forms. Later on, Nintendo released 2 demos to promote the game, and this video game featured 2 Sinnoh Pokemon, Munchlax and Bonsly. All in all, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness was not only a good sequel to Pokemon Coliseum, but ended up becoming a better game than Pokemon Coliseum in my opinion. All in all, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness development history is quite interesting.
I've been playing Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for 12 hours now, And I finally made it to the last area in the game, Dark Isle. This obviously won't take too long. This'll be a breeze. Okay, it's been 4 hours now that I've been on Dark Isle. I've literally had to catch 4 to 5 shadow Pokemon per battle, and I just caught Lugia and a Master Ball, the only Master Ball I was given. All my hard work's about to pay off because I'm about to fight Greevil and beat the game! Yeah! Let's do this! I'm gonna beat you up, Greevil! I lost. Greevil beat me. I can't beat Pokemon XD because I lost to Greevil. I can't believe it. My hard work was for waste. I couldn't do the impossible. Failed as a gamer. I'm no gamer. You know what? I've gotta work hard. I've gotta work harder than I've ever worked before. I'm going to Mount Battle, and I am going to get my levels up. I am gonna work harder than I've ever worked before. It's time to go on a massive grinding spree. We're going to Mount Battle, baby, and I am going to beat that son of a gun Greevil. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness takes place 5 years after the events of Pokemon Coliseum. The hero, Michael, is the main protagonist. Michael talks to Professor Crane, and Professor Crane talks to Michael about Shadow Pokemon. Crane gives Michael the Snag Machine, but shortly after that, the sinister and destructive force of Cypher comes and kidnaps the Professor Crane.
Shortly after, Michael and his young sister meet these nice, kind people at Gatian Port. Michael must use his newly acquired snag machine to save all of the shadow Pokemon, purify them, and bring them to normal Pokemon once again. But along his journey, he must defeat the many Cypher admins to rescue the shadow Pokemon and save them from Cypher. Later on in this video game, it is revealed that those nice individuals that we saw at Gatian Port were indeed the leaders and the main villains of the Cypher organization. And Greevil holds a super powerful and destructive Shadow Lugia in captivity to cause chaos and destruction with whatever is in his very path. At the end of this Pokemon video game, Michael battles the evil and sinister Greevil and defeats him, and defeats the main and sinister organization of Cypher. And I must say this, the ending scene really tears me up every single time. After Greevil is defeated, we really get an emotional scene with Greevil and his two highest up admins, and they decide to disband the group of Cypher once and for all. I really have to say that this ending scene, I feel, is one of the most emotional and greatest moments that I have seen in a Pokemon game. And honestly, I really wholeheartedly mean this. Look at this. Damn. Just wow. All in all, I really like the story of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. It is really a great continuation of the story of Pokemon Colosseum, and I actually like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness' story a lot more than Pokemon Colosseum. I feel that the story in XD Gale of Darkness was more engaging than Colosseum, but Pokemon Colosseum's story was still amazing too. But if I were to compare the two, I definitely enjoy Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness' story a lot more. It really mixes a diverse combination of both fun and interesting characters, but all in all, the story of Pokemon XD is one of the best stories I've ever seen in a video game and Pokemon game, and I wholeheartedly mean that. I'm gonna talk about the gameplay of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness! Yeah! The gameplay of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is very enjoyable. In the beginning of the game, you start out with Eevee, and Eevee can evolve into 5 different forms. This I feel is really nice because in the start of the game, you have the freedom to pick any Eevee form you like. Me personally, I feel that Espeon is the best choice of all of them. This game has even more Shadow Pokemon to collect, adding more ideas for team possibilities. Like I have stated earlier in this video game review, this game has even more Kanto Shadow Pokemon to collect, but you also have Hoenn and Johto Shadow Pokemon as well. At the very start of the game, you have the ability to go to Mount Battle, but at certain areas, the levels jump a lot, and I mean in the first area it was like level 10 or level 15. By the third area, the person had a freaking level 29 Raichu. What the heck? But I feel that's the game's way of encouraging you to progress through the game, then come back later on, which I feel in my opinion is a good incentive. Now Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness has a lot of new Cypher add-ins to fight, and you get even returning characters like Mirabee and Gonzap. Most of the Cypher add-ins really didn't give me much difficulty. Throughout the game, you get a lot of Shadow Pokemon, and I mean you'll be catching a lot of them. So stocking up on Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls is vital in my opinion. Now Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness tries to add new areas in addition to have most of the old areas in the video game. I would say that only 30% of this video game has new areas, and unfortunately it's a shame because Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, while it offers so much new content, whenever I play it I can't but think I'm playing Pokemon Colosseum. The old areas are nearly identical with a few new landmarks introduced. I understand that this game is a sequel, but at times I feel the old areas really stand out the same or identical compared to Pokemon Colosseum, and it's unfortunate in my opinion. I know that wasn't the developer's intentions when making this video game, but that's just how Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness comes across in my opinion. This game lets you connect to the Game Boy Advance games, and I feel that's really cool. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Pokemon Emerald. Now, when it comes to the main areas in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and catching Shadow Pokemon and just the Pokemon battles, none of the main areas in this video game really gave me too much difficulty. The Shadow Pokemon Lab was pretty easy, and the Shadow Pyramid place was a little difficult but nothing too overwhelming. It isn't until the last area in this video game, Dark Isle, holy shit is this area difficult. Like I have stated earlier in this video game review, the last few battles let you capture like 5 to 6 Shadow Pokemon per battle, really increasing the game's difficulty, and in my opinion, I feel that Dark Isle is way too damn long in my opinion as well. When I played this video game, I could have sworn it took me over 3 hours to complete this entire area. That I feel is really unnecessary to stretch it out that long. Now Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness really includes some awesome Shadow Pokemon to collect. I really think it's cool that you could capture Shadow Lugia, and spoiler alert, you can actually purify Shadow Lugia. How cool. Not only that, Greevil actually has an Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. And like I said before, this video game has a lot of good Shadow Pokemon to collect, like Salamence, Poliwrath, and Electabuzz, and Gateon Port and the Shadow Pyramid areas were really some nice new additions when it comes to new areas in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness too, because when it comes to grinding levels, Mount Battle I feel is a very convenient resource to level up my Pokemon. I feel that going through battles to get my levels up really comes in handy when I was playing this video game as a teenager. And when I was younger too, I would transfer my Game Boy Advance Pokemon just to train them and level them up. And like I have stated before, the story in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness I feel is excellent, and I give it the edge over Pokemon Coliseum's story. The idea of having a super powerful Shadow Lugia is a really cool concept in my opinion. All in all, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness offers a lot in terms of its gameplay and story, and I feel that's truly awesome.
What are my final thoughts about Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness? Wow, I could remember when I was 11 years old, walking into Blockbuster, renting Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and playing it for hours on end the entire weekend. I've played a lot of Pokemon video games over the years. Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Gold and Silver, the Mystery Dungeon video games, Pokemon Coliseum, Battle Revolution, Diamond and Pearl. But honestly, out of all of them, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is easily the top 5 when it comes to my favorite Pokemon video games. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness just has an amazing story. The gameplay has been improved from Pokemon Coliseum. And yes, this game does add new areas, and the new areas in this video game are quite impressive. All in all, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is truly one of the best video games I've ever played. And it's a shame because games like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Sword I feel aren't as good as the classics like Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Anyhow, the final score that I am going to give Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is a 10 out of 10. This game is truly amazing, and if you guys are younger or haven't experienced video games like this, I highly recommend this video game. Alright guys, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching this video game review, and I'll catch you later. Adios! When I was a kid, I would play the living crap out of Yoshi's Story all the freaking time. And it's really weird because out of all the Yoshi games, it seems like Yoshi's Story is the most underappreciated, unfortunately.
Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64 is pure trash. E.T. for the Atari 2600 is a million times better than that stupid video game, Mr. Wii.
What, Pikachu? You think that E.T. for the Atari 2600 is much better than Yoshi's Story? Get the frick out of here! You don't know anything about quality gaming. This is your punishment for that stupid comment of yours. I lost 1,000 brain cells because of your stupidity. Get out of there, you! Yeah! Let's start the review. Enjoy the review.
Ready for a tongue lashing? Yoshi's Loose with juicier levels, tastier moves, and dripping with attitude. Yoshi's Story for the first time on N64.
I think you're getting the hang of it.
Man, when I was a kid, I would play Yoshi's Story so much, honestly. The levels were just truly amazing in that video game. And not only that, the story was kind of cute and entertaining to a certain degree. Anyhow, for this mystery review here today, I can't wait to— Holy shit, it's Yoshi! In my very own apartment! Hey Yoshi, what's up? I've never actually seen a real-life Yoshi before, so I really don't know what to say. Hi, welcome to my video game review, where I review video games. Anyhow, look everyone, it's Yoshi! Frickin' Yoshi is in my video game review! Holy crap! So anyhow, Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64. This video game came out back in the year of 1998, and this video game is a sequel video game to Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo. Most critics feel that Super Mario World 2 was a better game because the video game had more levels than Yoshi's Story. But I have to say that Yoshi's Story is a pretty fun game. I do agree that you can beat this game in under an hour, and Super Mario World 2 offers more in terms of content, but Yoshi's Story, I feel, is an average video game. Not a great video game, but it was enough to keep me entertained as a kid, because when I was a kid, I didn't play Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I didn't grow up with the Super Nintendo, so my first Yoshi game, surprisingly, was Yoshi's Story. Anyhow, what are my thoughts about Yoshi's Story in this video game review here today? And with my guest, Yoshi himself, we will make an epic review as friends. It's Yoshi! It's freaking Yoshi! Ah! Let's start this review now, shall we? Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64. This video game came out back in 1998. Yoshi's Story revolves around Baby Bowser getting the Super Happy Tree and causing chaos and misfortune on Yoshi's Island. The Yoshis must get the Super Happy Tree back from Baby Bowser and bring it back to Yoshi's Island once and for all. Now, Yoshi's Story has 6 pages or 6 chapters. In the beginning of this video game, you have 4 levels to choose from, although when you first start out, you have 1 level on each page. To get more levels in Yoshi's Story and to play them in the free-to-play mode, you have to collect hearts on each level. There are 3 hearts in each of the levels, and by collecting the hearts, that is what will let you uncover more of the levels in Yoshi's Story. And regarding the levels, they're designed very well. Some have jungle themes, tropical themes, snow themes, and castle themes. Yoshi's Story, while not a
3D video game. This video game was a 2D side-scroller. Most of the levels in this video game are well designed in my opinion. In Yoshi's Story, you have to eat the fruit to make it through the levels, which I feel is a really cool concept. The only criticism I have of Yoshi's Story is that the game I feel is short. I feel you can beat this video game in a little over an hour, but by unlocking the other levels in this video game, it does add a certain level of replayability to this video game. All in all, Yoshi's Story is a very fun video game.
Man, Yoshi's Story is such a fun video game. There's nothing that'll interrupt me now. What the frick, Pikachu? You interrupted me! What do you want?
I just farted in your fucking face, Mr. Wii. Now fucking smell it, bastard.
Oh, not this crap again. Frickin' annoying me as usual. Well, I've tried every trick in the book whenever you've annoyed me, but now I am going to use my illustrious finger poke of doom technique. You've literally pushed me so far this time, Pikachu, that you are going to get flamed. And flamed hard, my friend. Finger poke of doom. Finger poke of doom you shall receive. I got a flaming finger right here. Don't mess with my flaming finger, y'all. I mean business.
Yoshi's Story was originally titled Yoshi's Island 64, and it was intended to be released on the Nintendo 64 disk drive. But the disk drive never saw the light of day, and it was a failed project on the part of Nintendo. The first promotional clip was revealed at the Shoshinskai event in November of 1996. Shigeru Miyamoto commented that the 2D format was necessary to create the artistic style of graphics the development team wanted. Nintendo referred to the video game as 2.5D. The game was changed to Yoshi's Story in August of 1997. The game came out in Japan on December 21st, 1997, and then was released in North America on March 10th, 1998. Hey, 8 days before my 3rd birthday, how funny. Unfortunately, Yoshi's Story didn't do that well in terms of most review scores. Game Rankings gave Yoshi's Story a 60% score, and GameSpot gave the game a low score of a 5.3 out of 10. GameSpot commented that the game was designed so that younger players could play through quickly and feel a sense of accomplishment. All in all, Yoshi's Story wasn't a bad video game by any means, but nothing groundbreaking in terms of its predecessors like Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo.
Man, me and my best friend Yoshi are having a blast right now. Me and him are playing games and having fun like no other. I don't get to hang out with that piece of shit Pikachu ever again. Me and my new best friend Yoshi are gonna tear it up while we can. Me and Yoshi are having a blast. Me and Yoshi are having fun, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of Yoshi's Story now, shall we?
Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64 is a 2D side-scrolling video game. This video game has a total of 24 levels, with 4 levels in each page. The level design of most of the levels in Yoshi's Story is very good. There are some cool and interesting enemies in each of the levels. Now the goal in each of the levels is to eat each and every one of the fruits. There are apples, melons, and grapes. If you lose all your flowers, you lose a Yoshi, and you have a total of 6 6 Yoshis, each having different colors. Lose any of the Yoshis and your game is over. Yoshi's story gameplay is pretty enjoyable. The platforming is very good in this video game, and the game can get a little challenging at times, but all in all, the game is pretty easy. At the end of the 3rd page, you fight a boss, and the bosses in my opinion were a cakewalk. Even Baby Bowser was easier since you could get infinite health using a super happy tree. I feel that the game does have a certain level of replayability because trying to unlock the levels in the free-to-play mode really added more fun to this video game. Like I said before, by collecting the heart pieces, that is what unlocks more of the levels in Yoshi's Story. All in all, Yoshi's Story is a fun and enjoyable video game, but I do agree that this video game is pretty easy and does hinder the experience slightly in my opinion. But besides that, Yoshi's Story gave me a solid experience as a kid, and it's definitely a video game I would replay as an adult today.
So what are my final thoughts about Yoshi's Story for Nintendo 64? Wow, when I was really young, when I was a kid, I would play Yoshi's Story all the time. And this is a very fun game I played. I remember just playing it on weekends or early in the morning before school when I was young. And it really gave me a fun experience when I was a kid, and I actually owned the game on the Wii U Virtual Console as well. Now, is Yoshi's Story a bad video game? No, I don't think it is, because whenever I play this video game, the 2D side-scrolling levels are really fun in this video game. And yes, the game is pretty easy, but Yoshi's Story did give me a fun and enjoyable experience. Trying to eat all the fruits was definitely a fun aspect to the video game, and like I have stated a couple of times in this review already, getting the hearts really added a certain level of replayability to this video game, because trying to get all the levels in the free-to-play mode is really cool too. And this video game has 24 levels, and in my opinion they are larger levels compared to Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. All in all, do I recommend playing Yoshi's Story? Yes, I do, but games like Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's Woolly World I feel are better experiences than Yoshi's Story. But Yoshi's Story is a pretty cheap game on Amazon, and it's pretty cheap on the Wii U Virtual Console, being only $10. So Yoshi's Story, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. I feel that video game is well deserving of that score. Anyhow, thank you so much guys for watching this video game review, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.